Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Six Nations. Now, this one's anticipated to be a little bit one-sided. The Welsh hosting the French at the Principality Stadium. So far in this competition, we have seen so many sides with one win, one loss, and anyone who won in the first round has then lost in the second. So that now means if we're basing it off form and we're basing it off trend, somehow, some way, maybe Wales have a chance in this contest, but the more realistic people are anticipating a Welsh loss by about 35 points. This is a strong French side who have a Six Nations goal now, definitely with the fact that if they win this game, they get a nice heavy boost towards being close to champions. So we'll have to wait and see what does happen there. But looking through at the starting lineups, it is Rhys Curry in the front row alongside Dewey Lake and Thomas Francis as the number 3. Lake is the captain of this Welsh team, and honestly, their last fixture, they had some decent moments at times up against the English, but just nowhere near enough to be completely competitive in last week's game. Duff Jenkins and Adam Beard, they will be the locking duo. Aaron Wainwright, I should say, moves to 6. Alex Mann, 7, and Ollie Cracknell, he slots in as the number 8. Thomas Williams as the 9 with Dan Edwards at 10. Josh Adams out on the left wing. Joe Hawkins and Eddie James in the midfield. Elliot Mee out on the right wing, and then at number 15, it is Lewis Rees-Zammit. He would have maybe liked to have a few more carries in that contest up against England last week, but a big opportunity to show what he can do up against a world-class side in France. And in their front row, it is Jean-Baptiste Grue as the number 1, Julio Marchand at 2, and Dorian Aldiegri at 3. Charles Olivon once again slots in as the 4. He had a phenomenal game last week up against the Irish, including a try that he was able to get. For the French side, Mikel Gilliard, he was very busy in last week's fixture. Francois Cruz, Oscar Jagu, I should say, and Anthony Gelange, he slots in as the number 8. Jalibert and Dupont as the 19 combination. Louis Biel-Bihare, he's given a huge chance of scoring in this contest. And to be fair, when you look at his try-scoring record, probably does make a lot of sense as to why they feel that way. In the midfield combination, this is where we actually see a few changes for France, and predominantly the only real big changes across their starting side. It is Fabien Brau-Boré as the number 13, with Galetron starting in at 12, starting in at 13 as Galetron. Theo Arasogby at 14, with Thomas Ramos closing out this starting side. But looking through at the chat, we have got there Dupont will win best hairstyle, says Jeff. Well, I mean, he might, but he also has a very good shot of being the best 9 in the whole Six Nations. The way that he is playing at the moment, Dupont, and that combination with Jalibert. I've mentioned it from the start of the comp, and I think I'm going to be mentioning it right throughout. I think that Jalibert is the best 10 and will be the best 10 in this Six Nations competition. He has so much skill. He's done brilliantly for Bordeaux throughout the season, which is why I was so surprised to see that he wasn't expected to score. And at that last contest, we have got there, good afternoon, Hamish. How's it, everyone? From a mild 32-degree Cape Town, so pretty warm in South Africa at the moment by the sounds of it, or at least in Cape Town. That is, we've got there Wales going to think they in jail, France going to win by 60 plus. That is a huge margin. Can we hear you say the back's name 10 times fast? No. Just go back, speed it up, and then go through, rewind, and then do it again, and you can go through 10 times. That's much easier than me trying to say them. Woohoo, Hamish. Says Ruth in there. But yeah, this game is only around 10 minutes away from starting up. What I will be doing now is popping up the table. This is how it currently sits. Scotland in first after their big win over the English for the Calcutta Cup, and also in that round 2 of the Guinness Six Nations. England still sitting on the 5 points. It just shows how impressive they were in that round 1 with the fact their points differential still sitting on 30. France, they are in third as we currently sit, but of course they have a game in hand over the 2 sides above them. Italy, they are on 5 points after a great win over the Scottish in round 1 and then getting the bonus point in the game up against Ireland. Ireland in 5th. I can tell you right now, I don't expect them to stay there. They will slowly grow and slowly build themselves up throughout this competition. And then the Welsh, they have a minus 41 points differential. They are in this competition, but at this stage, they haven't been competitive. But they'll have nothing more than a big statement here up against the French. And if they can't do that, they have to make sure that they beat the Italians, or else it may be a bit of a sad-looking Six Nations for this Welsh team. But That is the way the table sits, ladies and gentlemen. And for these two sides, in terms of previous form and upcoming games, as you can see there, Wales were $21 underdogs heading into this contest. But I have got an update. They are now $17 underdogs, ladies and gents. You couldn't put money on France to win this game. They're now paying $1.01. So I'm not sure who put big money on the Welsh, but they obviously dropped their odds that little bit. And maybe it is because of the other results that we're seeing from this round that they've been dropped down a little bit. Their game up against Scotland next week will be a very intriguing one there. For the French, they were able to get the big win over Ireland in round number 1. They are the big favourites here, but their next game is up against the Italians. Now, if Italy want any chance of somehow winning this Six Nations comp, they have to either keep that game up against France close or they have to somehow win it in France to be able to have a chance at the crown. We have got there, I'm a French supporter, says Shane. So who's the one player you're really looking out for in this game, Shane? Let me know. And no team can win France, says Martin. Why is the stadium so dark? I believe they're just kind of doing like the light show beforehand. They will, of course, put the lights on before these guys start playing. If they didn't, that would be kind of cool, but also very dangerous. Imagine like glow-in-the-dark rugby. The ball's bright green, stands out like a sore thumb. There'll be a lot of collisions off the ball. So you probably have to put like a whole heap of maybe LED lights on the players. Sounds like it's more of a hassle than just turning a light on, doesn't it? But the win predictor, this is interesting. 8% chance that France win this game at the moment on the win predictor. 90% for the French. That's honestly a little bit lower than many would have anticipated. Heading into this matchup, looks like a closed roof in Cardiff, says Dave there. And has Scotland ever been on top of the log? I'm not sure if Scotland have ever won the 5 or 6 Nations. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Louis Bielbiere has 22 tries in 23 matches. Unbelievable strike record. And yeah, him to win, or him to score in this game, I believe was paying about $1.30, which is unheard of for a player, by the way. Like, in terms of your normal look for a player to score is about $1.70 in a game that's supposed to be one-sided. But no, he is pretty much given a really good chance of running over the try line. We have got there go France here, Shane. I actually think we have more of a chance against Scotland than Italy. That's not much of a chance, says Flesh. And although, to be fair, Sione Tuipulotu, in the post-match interview, he did say they have a bit of a rough record up against the Welsh, and they can't underestimate going into the Welsh away game. Of course, Wales get to play 2 games at home in a row. Then they have got that break, and then they are back into action a little bit later on. In the Six Nations, Louis Bielbiere will most likely get at least a hat-trick. At least a hat-trick. So you're giving him 3 or more. In this case, Scotland are the current 5 Nations champions, says Fleshin. So what? Scotland won the 5 Nations, then they went, hang on, we're going to change that. That can't happen again, and added another team. And since then, haven't quite done it. Scotland have been Grand Slam champs a few times, but only given the 5 Nations. Good morning, y'all. It's been a minute. Let's hope France can cover a 30-point spread, says Jameson. And mad idea, Hamish, says the Blue Nomad. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be going for glow-in-the-dark rugby anytime soon. But if they do, you know they were watching this Kiwi Lad stream, because ain't nobody else coming up with that type of idea. At least no one who's like not sleep deprived at 4 a.m. Ramos for 5 tries, says Martin. I think 5 conversions could be on the card for Thomas Ramos. He is a phenomenal goal kicker, as we have seen time and time again. Finds that ball going through the post more times than not. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Like, don't get me wrong. This Welsh team would love nothing more than to cause a massive upset at the Principality Stadium. But I think in reality, a lot of people know that that's not supposed to happen. And more so, they're hoping for a couple tries from Wales just to show a bit of competitive nature. And alongside that, restrict the French to win by, I believe, less than 30 is the one that I've heard the most of in terms of what Wales would be relatively happy with coming out of this game. Will Wales score? How is France's defence? Their defence is very strong, although it did show signs of weakness at times up against the Irish. The Irish were just nowhere near clinical enough to be able to make the most of it multiple times. Of course, in that game in France, we saw Ireland drop the ball 15 times. If Wales do that in this game, they'll be in a bit of trouble. Also, we did see the Welsh scrum put under immense pressure from England in round number 1. That is something that the French will look to target. So expect them to go for 1 or 2 scrums when maybe they could have kicked for the 3 or the corner. For the sake of Welsh rugby, I hope this isn't a complete massacre, says Suckable. And when these two sides met last year, it was 43-0. I just want to put that one out there. It's not a fun stat for any Welshman, but opening contest of the Six Nations last year, Wales lost 43-0. So, with that being said, I would say anything less than that is a massive bonus. We have there France win by 60. What is a good illegal website? That just seems like a weighted question there, Jamie, trying to get some people in trouble. But there are a few options to watch this game. ITV apparently do have it. And with the fact that it's taken place in Wales, I believe there's actually a free-to-air broadcaster in Wales who normally do show these games. Or the only thing is, though, it will be in Welsh. So if you speak Welsh, you're all good to go. If you don't speak Welsh, you won't know what's going on. Thomas Ramos is such an amazing kicker. Says the Blue Nomad. Yeah, he slots them over more times than not. And when he misses, it's actually quite a surprise. Definitely if they have got the roof on this place in the Principality, it would mean that without the breeze, he's going to have a lot of fun. It's on BBC One. Says Jeff, you really are cheering me up, mate. Says Fleshin. Yeah, sorry about that. But anything less than the 43, I think it is a bonus, isn't it? If that is the case, but the French national anthem now just being sung at the Principality. France to win by 60 plus, says Shane. If you don't speak Welsh, watch it and listen to Hamish. That's actually, I should have said that, shouldn't I, Justin? I actually probably lost a few people there. Ragnarok is coming. There's going to be a try fest, says Martin. So do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to score the first try in this match, the exact try scorer, and alongside that, who, in fact, no, we'll do it a little bit more specifically. What time are they going to score? I'm going Louis Bielbiere, 6th minute of this game. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it takes 20 minutes before someone scores in this game, just to see a little bit of competitiveness early on, but they definitely need to sort out the defence early, Wales. They cannot afford to let the French side just charge at them, create attacking opportunities, because then it's a long day at the office. Jalibert, says Ruth there, first try right from kickoff. That's a bit brutal. Let me watch France destroy Wales. Says everything. A few empty seats in the stadium. Yeah, it's been talked about a lot throughout this week about the attendance of this game. I'll still be honest, pretty decent looking attendance for this game. Although, of course, normally when it is a sellout, like, you know, it does maybe hurt a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like the amount of concern for the tickets sold here have been the main talking point throughout this weekend. But at the same time, I'd still say it's probably a decent Sunday afternoon crowd or a Sunday early evening crowd for a game of rugby. Definitely when the home side is expected to lose by such a large margin. Dupont, 40 plus minutes, right before the half, says Jameson. Louis Reece Zammit, 5 minutes. And that's us done, says Fleshin. Also, you go on first try, Welsh get on the board, and then that's it. I mean, at least they would have started well, right? That's the main thing. This could be a slaughter. France by 50 plus points, says Barry. You can't see a thing in the dark, says Barton. Yeah, hopefully they are going to turn on some lights before this match actually does get underway. I think they're going for the spotlight effect on the players, having it nice and bright on the player faces. But looking through at these player faces for the start of this contest, the lineups will be as follows. Reece Curry in the front row alongside Dewey Lake and Thomas Francis, Darth Jenkins and Adam Beard in the locking duo with Aaron Wainwright, Alex Mann and Ollie Cracknell. They make up the loose forward trio. Thomas Williams and Dan Edwards as the 9 and 10 combo. Josh Adams out on the left wing. Joe Hawkins and Eddie James in the midfield with Ellis Mee and Louis Reece Zammit as the number 15. Looking through at France's starting side, it is Jean-Baptiste Grue, Julien Marchand and Dorian Aldiegri as the front row. Charles Olivon coming off a great game last week. Same with Mikel Gilliard, Francois Cruz, Oscar Jagu, and then also Jalange as that number 8 option. Antoine Dupont and Mathieu Jalibert will look to control this game with Louis Bielbiere out on the wing with his try-scoring prowess. Brau Bori in the midfield alongside Emile Gailleton, and then Theo Adesogbi and Thomas Ramos as the 14 and 15. But those are the starting lineups. The lights are on in the Principality. Maybe they were just saving power. That's a bit of a strategy they could look to do. I hope France bottle it, says Jeff. The thing is, though, and this is nothing against Wales, but I think everyone knows this, they would have to bottle it about 15 to 20 times throughout this game for Wales to have a very, very strong chance of winning. 15 to 20 handling errors, penalties conceded, a red card, It sounds harsh, but it's the reality at the moment with where these two sides are. France have gone nowhere near an experimental team heading into this contest. They want to really make a statement here, increase their points differential, and the fact that these lineups were selected before we knew that England were going to lose to Scotland, before we knew that Ireland were going to have a close game with Italy. France were already stacking their side, so it shows you they've come to play and they want back-to-back Six Nations titles. Wales will need about 4 red cards to win for France, says South. Let's get it, says Cameron there, but the sides have finished their huddles before the game. We are just about underway at the Principality Stadium. I know it's supposed to be a one-sided game, but I'm very excited for this match. Now, ask me again in 15 minutes if the scoreline looks a little bit rough, but there's just something about the Six Nations. When international sides in Europe go head-to-head, there's just some real feeling about it, and listening to that Welsh national anthem as well, it was just like the crowd believe, the side believes, but it's going to take a miracle, and it starts right now. The kickoff from Wales, going from left to right to get us underway for this match of the Six Nations, the last of round 2. We've already seen a couple interesting results, and we got another one here at the Principality. Antoine Dupont, inside of his 22, will kick this one down the middle of the field, taken at the back by Lewis Rees-Zammit. Looks to try and step his way through the defence. But France, they have been strong throughout this competition with their tackles made. 2-man tackles, a regular occurrence for this side as well. Thomas Williams goes out, another carry. And that 13 jersey for Eddie James. Lewis Rees-Zammit ready for the big game. You have forced me to pour a vodka, says Flesh in there. Ball is in the hands of Wales though, 40 metres out from their own line. And still ahead of the stream. So yeah, that's just down to Sky Sport now. Here in New Zealand, having a little bit of a delay. Thomas Williams does put this ball up high, chasing after it now. Round the halfway line was Alice Mee, but it slapped back onto the side of France. Attempting the step down the short side was Fabien Braubory. Low driving tackle made on him by Alex Mann. Backline movement, here come France. Thomas Ramos, though, one-on-one defence is on point from Josh Adams, and that stopped the potential line break already. Now short side. Looking for the offload to Ada Sogby. He's got plenty of pace. Puts it on the inside. And it's Charles Oliver. He goes one more. And it is going to be the 13, Gailleton, who manages to score the try early for France. So anyone who predicted Gailleton 90 seconds in, you were correct. Which I don't think anyone did, because everyone was hoping it would be a little bit later. Someone said right off kickoff, which it wasn't a mile away, but Gailleton in the 13 jersey scores, and that is the worst possible start that Wales could have asked for after what was a couple decent tackles made. It was just the missed one there from Adam Beard. Let Theo Adesogbe through. It looked like Olivon was in, but then he passes on the inside. Has Jalabert there too, just in case. And we see it there, Antoine Dupont lured in 2 defenders, then got it away to Adesogbe. And then Olivon, he's been tremendous this Six Nations so far. We had a try from Barry Power. I know that one came through early because I did actually see it before the try was scored. And we have got their French in 3 minutes, says Ruth. And now in 2, they are 7-0 up in this contest. Please score off the game. France have won, says Angie. Yeah, it's definitely the start that the French would have been after, that is for sure. Okay, they're just talking about what they could have done differently there, Wales. I'm sure they don't want to hear that now. The try has been scored, and it has made the score 7-0 in favour of the French. Now it's going to be kicked off high by Wales. Right, they get an opportunity to repeat, try and fix what went wrong. Here comes Jalange. He's up to the 22-metre line. Antoine Dupont again is going to be rolling this one back for the box kick. This is feeling like deja vu at the moment. But of course, if it is, we know what comes next. Nicely taken by Lewis Rees-Zammit at the back. He then runs the ball forward, which he does, up to the halfway line. Then from there, Wales. This is actually the exact same as what we just saw, except just slightly different in terms of the position on the field. And already it's going to be a long day for Wales. And now kicking this one up high. Chasing after it is Alice Mee. He doesn't win this aerial challenge last time. He's dropped it this time, although the referee says it's backwards. Now, going to be Dowie Lake. 40 metres out from the line at the moment for the Welsh. Passing it across. Just find the hands of the big man at number 1, Rhys Curry, trying to get the steal in the breakdown with France, but unable to quite get that turnover. So this is uncharted ground now for Wales. This is what did not happen the first time. I think that is actually the 13, Eddie James. Now still 40 metres out. Haven't gone forward as of yet. Aaron Wainwright tries to bust his way through Gilliard. I believe South Africa forms a huge portion of your fan base. Interesting to see how big it is. It goes without saying we enjoy your content. Says Jart there. And we did actually cover a game involving South Africa earlier on today. It was the women's match between South Africa and Argentina in the sevens. Thomas Williams now rolling this one back across to the left-hand side. Now they are on the halfway, so they have lost 10 metres now in 7 phases here, Wales. Bit of a counter-ruck from the French. They don't get the steal. Dowie Lake pops it up to his teammate. Still looking for the steal every breakdown at the moment for France. Guilletron unsuccessful. Back into the pocket for Dan Edwards. Now charging after this one. Going up nice from Jalibert to knock it backwards to Theo Adesogbi. Now Ramos over the top. Jalibert has the man with him. Now a bit isolated. That looked like it was maybe out. It's knocked on by France. Oh, okay. Dupont gave himself away there because they actually stopped playing France because they thought they had knocked it on. Dolman says no though. Now Ramos back across. Loose ball picked up by Jalibert. Currently running backwards. He will now boot this one down the middle of the park. Ball's going to be available for Wales. Here's Lewis Rees-Zammit to run it back again. Low tackle early from France on the halfway. That was a great try by Francis Pierre Bosch. Yeah, there haven't been too many stoppages since that try though. I think we've had 3 minutes of out-and-out pace between these sides. Kick downfield now looking for a bit of distance from Dan Edwards. That one's bouncing awkwardly, and it goes too far. Like they've said now, that is a bit of a annoying one, you'd have to say, for this side. Kicks have been not too bad so far from the French. Wales just getting that one a little bit too long. Wales just a training game. They add nothing to the Six Nations. Says a Richard in there. I don't know whether or not that is really the case. I know that people like to give Wales a lot of stick, but we've got to remember it was only a few years ago that they were an extremely competitive side, and sides will have their up and downs, but Wales will be back at some point, no matter how much people like to try and badmouth them. Now look at what people said about Italy. Remember when they were I was going to say a terminology, but it doesn't sound too great, but we'll go the easy beats of the Six Nations. Remember when people didn't want Italy in there, and now they're being competitive, they're beating Scotland, they're taking Ireland to the limit. Like you just gotta give them time. Why am I getting worked up? I should know better. Says Flesh in there. Now Dupont about to feed this ball in. A huge pack weight advantage for the Welsh in this game. 946 kgs compared to the 874 of the French. I believe that is just so that they have a little bit of stability and a bit of safety there, as their scrum was under pressure last week up against the English. Oh, is that Ramos played? Now, Jalibert passes across to Gelange. They're going to look to feed this one out to the left now. About 30 metres out from the try line currently for the French. Charles Olivon, pick and go, tackled low by Aaron Wainwright. Now, Dupont, Gilliard was the player of the match last week. Great work in the break. Oh, he wasn't on the ball though. I thought Ollie Cracknell had managed to get himself the steal, but instead he was just playing around and didn't quite receive it. Ball still there for Dupont. Back across to Jalibert. Does the sling pass across to Jean-Baptiste Grue. Looked like it was stripped on the ground from him there. But it is once again play on. Now Dupont goes to Gelange. Tackle made by Rhys Curry. Now Dupont. Jalibert. Little grubber attempted him behind out wide. Nice take from Alice Mee. Wrestled into touch though. And very sad not to see a full crowd in Cardiff. Never thought I would see that, says Stephen. Yeah, it's still a better crowd than most sides end up getting, which is quite incredible. Like, you know, it's not ideal, but we have seen games with international sides. Like, that's the other thing with Wales. No other side, I believe, could be on the run that Wales are on and fill up a stadium like they have here. Many sides would have had their country turn their back on them by now, but Wales, people still show up to show this side support, even with the trouble that they're having, which I feel like is a testament to the Welsh fans, the fact that they are still willing to go to a stadium knowing that their side are expected to get beaten badly, but still show their support from the stands. Dupont Goes back across now to the right-hand side. Jean-Baptiste Grue. Going to be tackled 30 metres out from the line. 9 minutes through this contest at the moment. Still 7-0 for the French. Gelange gets his offload to Dupont. Now Julio Marchand, another carry. And I just woke up early, says Brandon. Yeah, nice early morning start for this game here in New Zealand. Currently 4:20 a.m, but I can't think of a better way to spend a Monday morning watching a bit of the Six Nations. Gailleton. Set one up once more. He is the lone try scorer in this game, although it might change now. Here comes a run from Jalabert. Passes on the outside. Gets the pass one more to Arasogby. Oh, big chopping tackle from Aaron Wainwright. 5 metres out from the line. That seems like it's illegal from France. No, I don't know if he can score that one. I believe it has to be held up. And they also do have to release at some stage. Arasogby's asking for the try. This is an interesting one from Dolman. There was no clear statement of release, although he's giving France the penalty for no clear release. At the same time, I don't think France are able, after the contact is made, to be able to just drive him while he's on his knees towards the goal line. So the penalty goes back in favour of France. I don't get this crowd think, oh, we're bad, it's a Sunday. It's expensive to buy a ticket. What do people expect these flesh? And yeah, like I said, it's still I don't know what Principality holds, but it's still probably 85% full, which once again, you look around at some of the crowds around the world and they don't look like this, I can tell you that right now, and they don't have a national anthem that sounds like the Welsh and French one did for this matchup. Now Charles Olivon, rolling maul opportunity here for the French. It's well defended at the moment though from the Welsh. They're looking to try and move this one again. They'll be told to use it once. Julio Marchand breaks off the back. Currently 5 metres away from the try line. Dupont goes out to Jalabert, who is calling for the ball. He looks for the cross kick. Is this the try? Yes, it is. Louis Biel-Biarré scores it out wide. Around 82,000. So yeah, they've probably still got over 60,000 in attendance for this game. But Louis Biel-Biarré scores again. Like I said, it was one of those times when he is out there on the field, it's only a matter of time before he gets over. You like your steak bleu, Hamish? Your French pronunciation of the names is top tier, says Blicky. Thank you very much. And try number 2, says Barry. So once again, trying to hit the spoilers in the chat, I see. But nicely taken out wide. It was the cross kick from Jalabert, so he gets himself the assist. But finished off by the French. And running it round, making it a little bit of an easier kick as well there from Biel-Biarré. First try, 2 more to come for Louis Biel-Biarré. And also we have got there, Hamish, still no subtitles. I don't think they have them for a lot of live streams on YouTube. I don't know whether or not that's on my part or whether that's just... I feel like it would be a hard job trying to subtitle this. Seeing as I talk at 1,000 miles an hour, the Six Nations has always been about fans mixing, experiencing different cultures. Far more to it than just winning. That's why it's disappointing, says Stephen. But once again, I think a lot of sides would accept 60,000 watching a game from the stands. 12-0, I should say. That kick is actually missed from Thomas Ramos. Had all day to catch that. Could have had a cup of tea and then caught it. Says Sebastian, although the goal was to still catch it, of course. Some players have all the time in the world, and if they have too much, they can put it down. But yeah, not the normal strike from Ramos that we are used to seeing. He'll be maybe a little bit disappointed with that one. But now, once again, we go like this, and we go like that as well. Now, backline movement here again for the French. Olivon goes to Louis Biel-Biarré. Passes it out wide. Good low tackle made, but Biel-Biarré manages to sneak down the wing, looking for the inside ball. It's dropped by Ramos. I love to see subtitles just for a laugh. Hamish kind of sounds like Kiwi rap god when he is excited, says Justin. And also terrible kicks, says Sakabula there. Shout out to all the flood victims in New Zealand. Hope the weather changes soon and things recover quickly. Yes, we had some pretty brutal weather over those couple of weeks. And it's still a little bit rough in different places. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy how quickly the weather went from, oh, okay, it's a nice sunny kind of week, to then just absolute downpours. First round of the Six Nations, we had a lot of rain too. In terms of in these games, luckily these second round games, I don't think we've had a huge amount of rain at all. Ireland versus Italy, I can't think of rain. And then Scotland versus England stayed fine for the whole match, which was fantastic to see. Now it's going to be the scrum feed here for the Welsh. We have got there I welcome come on your channel. I feel I don't, says Mohadeen. You seem to say that every time, Mohadeen, and we try and give you that reinforcement that everyone is welcome in the chat, as long as like everyone's respectful. But we tell you every single week, and then you come back the next week and say, I feel like I'm not welcome. So I don't know whether that's a you thing, but like we are more than happy to have you every single week. But I guess you'll make your own choice. Thomas Williams ready to kick this one up high, 35 metres from the try line. That is their own line here, Wales. Claimed at the back from Thomas Ramos. Now going down the wing, Louis Bielbiere. He had Dupont with him on the inside, doesn't manage to use him. Now back across once more, Ramos with the skip pass. Here comes Jalabert. Manages to break the line, passes on the inside. Great hands from a world-class 10. And it's another try. Louis Bielbiere not involved from the last few sets there, but it is instead Fabien Braubory. So he has to wait a bit longer for the chance of the double. Louis Bielbiere, he's got a big smile on his face now, though, as he is sucking down the water. We have got there, please, yes, take a deep breath, Barry. And also we have got there, hey there, says Pep Swap. Welcome in. Is there 7th next week? There certainly is not, sadly. We got 2 more weeks extra till we get to see some more. We have got there, why do the linesmen always miss the forward passes? I feel like it's not just the linesmen, though. We just don't seem to call them anymore in the world of rugby. What was that last try for England up against Scotland? Like, that thing was about as forward can be. It was more forward than George Ford, but it just, like, yeah, they just seem to leave forward passes every once in a while now. We just go, oh, well, someone will pull them up. And we have got the idea this could be a bit of a slaughter. It could be. That's a nice kick from Ramos. And just to bring it back round, a much better strike of the ball, and that makes the score now 19-0 in favour of the French. I will mention, last time these two sides played, it was the start of the Six Nations 2025, and the score in that contest, it did end up being 43-0. I could have a bonus point by 20 minutes, says South Kid. France hit the gas, and they just have pace, don't they? The way that they're set up, even their forwards are a little bit elusive here in terms of the pack weight, only about 870 kgs. Not many sides go that low. But obviously France have decided they want to push the tempo. Here comes the run from Alice Mee towards the corner. France have to defend now. As the Welsh move into the 22, can they answer back with a try of their own? Here's the captain, Dowie Lake, looking to lead from the front and get his side back on track. Now, nice inside pass to Aaron Wainwright. Low tackle made by Julian Moschon, looking for the steal there. Was Gilliard. Now, pop pass was on the cards there for Thomas Williams, but takes contact instead. 10 metres out from the line. Duff Jenkins drops his head. 5 metres out from the line for Wales. There's an advantage now for offside against this French defence. 3 metres out from the line for Alex Mann. You're looking for a halfback. They managed to find one. Crack now. 5 metres still from the line here for Wales, but numbers on the right. Short pop pass. Chance here for Eddie James. 2 metres out. France still having to defend on their goal line. Thomas Williams goes out to Aaron Wainwright. This is phenomenal defence. Another advantage against the French. Now Thomas Williams rolls it back, leaves it for Crack now. Dupont muscling up, holding him over the line. It's great defence from the French. They hold him up, so they'll go back for the penalty. What games next week? We've got Super Rugby. We've got the Six Nations. Did George Ford play that game? That isn't the one up against Scotland or the... Yeah, up against Scotland he did. He had a drop kick, which he definitely wouldn't want to be asked about because it led to a Scottish try that secured the game. We have the offside, says JD. Right, 2 offsides in a row, says James Dolman. Feel like they're getting towards not quite the last warning, but at least they've just been made aware of the fact that they could find someone going to the bin in the relatively near future. Right. They've decided to go for the quick tap here, Wales. Thomas Williams cuts across. It's Reece Curry who scores the try. Wales are over. And I can tell you right now, he wasn't supposed to score in this game. I think he was about $17 just to get over the goal line. But they have now scored here, Wales. They've got something from this contest. It will not be the 0 like it was last year. 25 caps for Reece Curry, and he now scores his second try at international level. And forward in his drop kick, says Jameson. And can't see the screen and can't hear Hamish. This is the best game of rugby I've been to, says M. Ellison. And Mr. Kiwi, I just joined. How has the game been so far? It's been fast-paced. These two sides are going to be exhausted by the end of this game, but a big run forward from Reece Curry. Are you so far behind, says Sebastian? Well, I do appreciate the fact that you haven't been putting in spoilers, though, just because it does make it a lot better when I don't accidentally look at the chat when a try comes up. But yeah, that's just Sky Sport now for you here in New Zealand. We've got like a decent size delay, but the kick is going to be taken, and the kick is over. 19 points to 7. The score now in this game, ladies and gents. And once again, that was not really supposed to happen in this game. For him to score, if anyone had backed him to score the next try, they would have got $101 to their $1. I won't have it, says Sebastian. Hamish, have you been fouled before in like basketball, or what we talking about? Did Springboks women win? They did, but they lost, if that makes sense. They won the game, but they lost the competition, as they didn't quite have a big enough winning margin. They went to extra time up against Argentina, though. That's a big knock-on from the French. And again, oh no, penalty being awarded here to the French. 22 metres out. Dupont decides to take it quickly. He's got Adesogbi with him. Tackle made by Thomas Williams on his opposite number. Ball's still available here for the French once more. It just shows how quickly they can turn defence into attack. Now Jean-Baptiste Grue told to get out of that breakdown for the Welsh. Big sell of the dummy from Julien Marchand. 10 metres out. Now the forwards starting to do their work. Next to the breakdown, Dupont goes across to Gilliard. Drops his head. Now back across to the right. Lobby pass, Jean-Baptiste Grue. Oh, Ramos missed the pass to Jalabert, and then he knocks the ball on the ground. 20 minutes into this game, which has been absolutely hectic, by the way, in terms of how quickly these two sides are trying to play. And damn it, here it goes. They got my hopes up again, says Fleshin. And we have got there, also, yes, Wales have scored. Happy days, says Stu. And see, the Welsh have to hold on to the ball. It's the key for them. If they can hang on to the ball a little bit throughout this contest, you know, they can put some phases together, start to bring the crowd into the game that little bit. I think is one of the big keys for this side. Okay, James Dolman just pretty much telling them to not step forward in the scrum. Wales playing well this week, says Mohadeen. I just managed to get you in sync with the Spanish TV, says Sam. But yeah, for ourselves at the moment, we are 21 minutes and, they've just stopped the clock. But 21:11 is on the clock currently. So far, we're seeing 46 carries from the French. They've had 10 clean breaks in 20 minutes. 10 clean breaks. Most sides wouldn't have 10 clean breaks throughout a whole game. We need to get some basics in, like trying to defend a little bit, says Fleshin. And is the Springboks Sevens woman playing First Division? Not yet. They have to win a couple more competitions, or at least be up there, and then they play the championship with a chance of promotion. But you won't see that happen until about, I think it's maybe April or May, they get the chance to go up. Now, told to use it. Thomas Williams rolls this one back from inside of the Welsh 22. It's one thing about this match is it is absolutely flying by, mainly because of the fact that there's just always something happening. Both of these sides willing to take risks. I don't think the Welsh are taking risks on purpose. It's just they are leaving gaps in their defence. Hamish, why do you look like a yoga coach with that hoodie? I can tell you right now, if you saw any sort of like flexibility from myself, I'm nowhere near a yoga coach. Can hardly even touch my toes. Now, ready to go. Julien Marchand with the line-out throw. Sitting currently 50 metres out from the line. Louis Bielbiere. He has a couple men with him. Goes to Adesogbi on the outside. Just can't quite rein it in. It was close to going into touch. No real apology there from Louis Bielbiere either. He's kind of saying to Adesogbi he should have been able to take that one. But Wales decide to take the quick tap. And in a game that they are expected to really gas out late, you wonder how smart that is from this Welsh side, but they still feel like they've got a fighting chance if they can score again soon. Now going back across to the right-hand side, Alex Mann moves it on. Edwards goes to Eddie James in the middle. Trying to tackle him was Charles Olivon, but a good step. Gelange manages to get him in the end. Now Williams waiting for the numbers to move to the right-hand side where they find Aaron Wainwright playing 6 in this match. Second drink in already, and Jalabert, Louis Bielbiere on fire. See Sakabula. And yeah, this This side is so quick in terms of that counter-attack for France that all they need is one phase and all of a sudden the game changes. Here we go. Jalabert passes on the outside. Manages to find the hands of his outside centre, cutting back in. In fact, it was the inside centre in that case. Now Jegu offloads to Gilliard. Moving away to the right-hand side. Ramos goes to Jalabert. Can't quite get through. Offloads from his back though to Adesogbe. Fending off the Welsh. 20 metres out from the Welsh try line. Dubon plays half, goes to Ramos, inside ball to Cruz, who's met with a wall of defence from Wales. 24 minutes through this matchup, 19 points to 7 the way it sits. France are 1 try away from a bonus point. Now off to the right, Ramos goes to Jalabert. Adesogbe passes it into touch. And Wales will now have the line out, 25 out from their line. As the Lions and Sharks playing against each other next week in the URC, they certainly are. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too. It actually takes place before the 2 games of the Six Nations. So yeah, that is the plan for that evening. Okay, cool. It's not like if you win, you get promoted. Not quite. So you got to go a few legs. I think there's 3 legs. And then it's whoever's at the top of the point standings, the top 4, go through into the championship to have a chance of promotion. Nicely taken by Alex Mann, just outside of the Welsh 22. Aaron Wainwright tackled nicely round the bootlaces by Francois Cruz. Bit of a counter-ruck there from Drew as well. Now, looking to go this one high. And downfield with Thomas Williams. Chasing after it hard as Josh Adams, but well taken by Adesogbe. Look for the offload. Ramos back to clean up, but it could have been dangerous as the Welsh were looking to get it. Gilliard now busting through 2 tackles. Offloads to Olivon. Numbers here now for France. Draw and pass. And a great low tackle made from Thomas Williams on Dupont, who then rushed the pass. Gets it now in the hands. Lewis Rees-Zammit. That is a last-ditch tackle and a half right there from Jegu. And the ball is in touch. They look like playing the man on the ground, and Wales are not going to take that lightly. But meanwhile, they've decided to start playing again. But there is a scrap on the sideline. What has happened there is a big cheap shot from France on the ground. And the Welsh are no way happy about it. Be curious to see a replay of this one. What happened was the Welsh player was down on the sideline. And from the looks of it, one of the French players tried to drive in with his shoulder to push him over the sideline. It looked pretty illegal. And I believe they may have a look at this. No, in fact, they're not going to care. They're just going to go for the line out instead. Good afternoon, sir. I think that France will take this. They have very strong, kind regards, Sean. And there, and damn, says Cameron. But it seems like TMO's not going to have a look at this one. Okay, in fact, no, Dolman just said there something about a tussle, so I think he wants to see what's happened. But they're going to play on. Now, Dowie Lake, ready to throw this ball in for the Welsh. The BBC website says Sebastian is an option for being able to watch. Do they even have a TMO? We haven't seen one involved as of yet. But I'd assume someone's in the box watching this game. Aaron Wainwright tackled 40 metres out from his line. Told to use it. Now that one's gone high from Ramos. Doesn't travel a huge amount of distance, only about maybe 10. Adesogbe gets that ball, passes it across to Ramos. Jalabert, heavily involved in their number 10 jersey throughout the first 26 minutes. Here's Bielbiaré, wrestled into touch by Alice Mia. Great low tackle round the laces. And now, line out here for the Welsh again. We're the Springbok team. They are not playing in this one. But yeah, just running out of space there for Bielbiaré. Tried to put in the fin, but Alice Mee got that shot in early. Only 27 minutes. And I'll be honest, the way that this game started compared to how it's sitting now, I feel like we're seeing some better stuff here. I know that sounds a bit patronising, but they're actually not going too bad over the last little while, Wales. They're actually getting some possession. You need a BBC licence though, only £180. Now looking for the box kick again here for Thomas Williams. Chasing after this one is Alice Mee. Bielbiaré takes it, thought about the offload to Dupont. Now goes to him. Short side chance, but he decides to kick that one into touch. Does bounce out though, rather than on the full. So another Welsh line out. Only get to halftime with no more tries for France. Or just get to halftime with no more tries. Yeah, that would probably not be a bad halftime score for the Welsh here. And the biggest thing at the moment is they've realised this is going to be a little bit of a scrambling kind of quick pace game. So as long as they've got one guy back almost set for that quick break from France, it seems like just in the last 10 minutes, there's a slight change of tactic that is working a lot better for Wales. Maybe that is just the waiting for that counter, but at the same time, they've had a couple decent attacking moments. Now looking to put this one high. It's going to be a chance for the Welsh. 3 Welsh players go up for it, and it bounces back into the hands of Ollie Cracknell. Now off to the left, if he can get it on the outside for Lewis Rees-Zammit, they'll make a few more meters here. Now Thomas Williams goes to Curry, the lone try scorer at the moment in this game for Wales. And imagine the Welsh win, they would be insane, says Ty. I think it's a bit too early to be imagining that one, but it certainly wasn't a bad 15 minutes or so from the start, or like after the first 10 or so. Wales started finding their rhythm. Wales will eventually get tired. Absolutely. I think both of these sides, even Biel, he's taking some deep breaths at the moment because this game should not have been played at the tempo that it is if they wanted to go the full 80. I think they just said there that Biel has a problem with his lungs. Now, he's run probably relatively close to the most meters out of anyone. And thank you, I think you know, I know you, I'm Agent Carter, says Ruth. And now 29 minutes through in this contest. It is another line out here for Dowie Lake. So yeah, probably looking at the French player with the lung problem might not be the best guy to judge stamina off. But at the moment, there's a lot of deep breaths being taken out there on the field. My heart is thumping. I might have a heart attack if we manage another score. Says Fleshin, and now looking for the rolling ball here. The Welsh, it hasn't gone too far forward, so told to use it. Thomas Williams goes across to Aaron Wainwright. Big 2-man tackle from France. Told to use it. Williams goes back across to Ollie Crack. Now they can't get it isolated, or else could lead to some trouble. Thomas Williams ready to kick this one up high again. Down towards the halfway line. They haven't been going too bad under the high ball so far, Wales, and they almost get that one, but Biel manages to get the touch on it. Dupont running down the wing, showing off the step, but he does just slip. Looks for the offload, finds the hands of Ramos. Here comes Gilliard down the wing, and another tackle made on him. Dupont chipped in behind. Adesogbe chasing, and he wins it too. Oh, referee gave that try before Adesogbe actually scored it by the looks of it, but he eventually gets it down. And the try for France, that brings the bonus point and try number 4 for the away team. Wales are not going to be able to keep up with the tempo of this game, especially in the second half, says Jerome. Yeah, this is probably a terrible analogy, but it kind of reminds me of when a heavyweight in like a UFC fight knows they haven't got the gas tank, so they try and knock the opponent out early. Now, of course, their problem is they're fighting one of the best heavyweights in the world right now in the French. Hang on. They're going to be checking this one by the looks of it. We have got a TMO. But yeah, it seems like they're going for the killer blow early. But then the thing is, this is not UFC. If they knock them out early, it doesn't matter. They'll score a try. France will still be there for 80 minutes. And there'll still be a lot of work to do late for Wales. Right. They're checking the control of the grounding from Adesogbe, remembering that the referee awarded the try before he had even grounded the ball. Oh no, checking for offside. He is offside there, Adesogbe. He's actually ahead by a metre. So it is going to be no try there. Yeah, didn't get the ball down initially, Adesogbe, so he had to roll over to make sure that he got it down. But that is going to be no try. In this scenario, it's like Wales a Glass Joe from the PC game. Says Sebastian, so it will be the penalty to France for offside. I'll be honest, I can't believe we're 31 minutes through this game. And I don't know whether or not it's the same for you guys, but does this not feel like the fastest game like we've had of the Six Nations so far? Maybe even of, like, I can't think of a game that it's felt like 15 minutes, but it's been 31. That's actually a huge issue for a ref to do. You call it when you see, or what you see, not what you think is going to happen, says Justin. And it's like, Wales, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? But now, it's going to be a line out. Wales need a try now, says Samuel. Yeah, if they can manage to pull off some sort of try before half time, make the second half very intriguing, that is for sure. The bonus point is no longer there for the French. They are back down to the 19 points. Hopefully the scoreboard does update it soon, but the throw to the back of the line out for Wales, uncontested by the French. Ball's going high from Dan Edwards. And again, Wales chasing after it, looking to win their aerial challenge. And once more, it was slapped back by the Welsh. Knock on from France. And they will go back now for the scrum. Oh, okay. It's accidental offside. Now, that's quite an interesting one. And the reason I say it is because in Super Rugby Pacific this year, they are trialling a new law, which with accidental offside, you actually can take a free kick, or you don't get the option of a scrum. It's a tap and go. But in this case, we do get that scrum. Great analogy, Amish, says Jerome. And how many Welsh tackles so far? They've been busy. That is for sure. We'll get the exact stat for you while we're at it. But yeah, both these sides have been tackling and just playing at a frantic pace. And to be honest, when they scored that try, or the disallowed try for France, it was probably a good thing for both sides because they just got a bit of a break from the tempo that they're setting. We'll mention the score is not 24. Scoreboard still doesn't want to take it off the French, but they will have to eventually. Either that, or France will score that try anyway. Going off to the right-hand side off the free kick now being awarded to the Welsh. Lewis Rees-Zammit tries to loop around the outside, tackled in a very strong one from Fabien Braubory. Now Cracknell. He's been good so far in this game. The big Welsh number 8. Dowie Lake carries forward again. Thomas Williams moving away to left-hand side. They have numbers here, Wales. If they can just feed it that little bit wider. Jalabert finishes the tackle of Galetron. Now across, Alex Mann. Oh, wanting the steal there was Julien Marchand. He's got one hand on the ball and he wins the penalty for his side. I think they almost gave up on clearing him out there. And he just kind of did the little sneaky paw on it. Kept on touching it. And then does end up getting a penalty for the French. And come on, lads, please give us some hope. So what we will do is we'll click here and we'll click here. And hopefully that'll tell us how many tackles have been made. Tackles made so far. France have made 72. Wales have made 47. Now, whether or not that is the exact score now or the exact number now could be a different story. But 58% possession for the Welsh at this stage of the contest. Let's go Wales. And also in France in the middle. Here's Chris Ace. Now Julien Marchand with another line out. Around the halfway line. Gelange breaking off the back. Goes with the inside pass. Now looping around. Once more chance here. Jalabert gets through one. Offloads to his teammate Julien Marchand. Getting driven sideways. Just for now. Now penalty advantage in favour of the French. Where we will see some sort of fancy play, I'm sure. Now, Francois Creux. Dupont. Back to the right. Goes to Jégu. This is a position on the field that France haven't actually had the ball in a little bit of time. About 40 metres out from the Welsh line. Dupont goes back across to Jégu. Looping around with Jalabert. He'll go for the kick in behind. Here comes the foot race. Galetron gets back. And I believe the advantage, the referees called it as over. So they will not go back for the initial penalty. And Wales have got the possession inside of their own 22 now. 35 minutes down in this game. It's just disappearing. It's almost half time. Thomas Williams going to now kick this one from inside and get it into touch. How is it almost half time though? Already. It's just absolutely flying by. I feel like it hasn't even been like that fast in a way. We've had probably about 42 or 43 minutes worth of time since the game kicked off. But it's just going so quick. French are so elusive. We are really struggling to just basically tackle them. Yeah, they got good strength too, some of these forwards. Oh, Dupont, beautiful run up the middle. Man, just a breakthrough 3. Now 5 metres from the try line, but a big knock on from Braubory. They will go back now for the scrum in favour of Wales. 5 metres out from their try line. This is the position where they really need to win a penalty, or else it is just another exit, which will give another opportunity for the French to attack. But Alex, or in fact it was Aaron Wainwright that time, fended off by Antoine Dupont. And then just got that next pass away, but their hands let down his inside centre teammate. This is great for Wales, says Samuel. Yeah, this is honestly a really decent showing from the Welsh. And once again, when it was 19-0 after, 10, 12 minutes, it just seemed like, in fact, it was a little bit longer than that, probably about 15. But it seemed like that was the end of the game. Wales is still trying here. And, they got the try of Rhys Curry. And now they can go into halftime down by 12 or somehow get another try. Who knows what will happen in the second half. That's a big scrum, though, from the French, almost managing to win the penalty against the fee. Big run forward, but a great low tackle from Dupont. Now 10 metres out from their own line here, Wales. In fact, maybe a little bit more than that, about 15. Fiku injured. I'm not sure what's actually happening with Gal Fiku at the moment. That's a big kick downfield, but it hasn't managed to find touch. Now Thomas Ramos round that halfway line has Ada Sogby with him. Does pop it back on the inside, though, to Galeton. Almost accidental offside from Ada Sogby. How good is Dupont? He's up there so bloody strong, says Fleshin. Yeah, his tackle, or his tackling that he's been making throughout this game as well has been really impressive. He just takes people down who are much bigger than him, and those couple big fins on the Welsh loose forwards, impressive as well. Jalibert decides to go for the aerial booting option. It's going to bounce up for Bialbiere. Okay, James Dolman just clarifying what happened there, and it sounds like it was going to be the knock-on from Wales. Gilliard doesn't go for the offload. It may have been the wrong choice. Wales over the ball, and they managed to get themselves the steal. Oh, that's so bad from Adam Baird. He's tried to kick the ball, and Jalibert will score it. That was awful from Adam Baird. There's a reason he's got a 5 on his back and not a 15, and we've just seen why. But Wales, they almost won the penalty for themselves. Baird decides to kick it. He knows he made a terrible lapse of judgment right there. And Jalibert scores again for the French. I don't know where they score, says Sakabula. Wales a criminal for that kick, says, yes, it's really bad from Adam Baird. And the thing is, they were right in this contest too, up until that moment. It's over now. I think that'll be the moment that Wales drop their heads. And you can see it there. Like, you kick the ball or try and kick the ball away as a lock from inside of your own half. There's clearly a forward pass, says Scott there. But Ramos does kick it over. And that is now going to make the score heading towards the halftime break. 26 points to 7. But Jalibert, 2 games, 2 tries for the elusive French 10. I mentioned about it. I feel he's going to be the best in the Six Nations in that 10 jersey. He seems to be proving it time and time again. I can't watch this anymore. It's just too painful. What do you do with Adam Baird there? When you know that you were right in this game, who's facing who next week, Hamish, says Jerome. 1 second. We'll go like this, and we'll go like that. There we go. These are the games next week. England are playing Ireland. Wales plays Scotland at the Principality, and then France, they are at home up against the Italians. Kicked off, taken by Charles Olivon this time. Now Dupont searching for this ball underneath the breakdown. Told to use it once more. Might have been a knock-on there in the breakdown from Dupont. But now kicked high. And sad to see Wales getting whipped. I remember going out over there and just wondered what a class team a few years ago. France are only in second gear. So here's Dennis. Now pass back across to the left-hand side here. Trying to get through was Duff Jenkins. What the F was he thinking? Yeah, it was a brain fart well and truly. And the thing is, right, like, they had numbers too. I think that's what makes it worse. Obviously, he saw some space in behind, but, like, you're a lock. Don't get me wrong, there's some brilliant locks around the world, and you can go for kicks if you're in open space as a lock, but not when you're under pressure. It just didn't seem like the right choice. Now going back across here again. Once again, we'll go like this. We will go like that as well. Now back across to the right-hand side for Wales. Tackle made on Cracknell. It's all over. What do you think, says Hardis? I think that try really did hurt Wales. And to be fair, they seemed like they were well and truly in it up until that one. And I think the only way they find a way back into this game once more is if they score before halftime. Ball's popped out the back for the Welsh. Adam Baird decides against kicking it this time. Goes to Rhys Curry. Ball's there. Cracknell has to play half. France are not in second gear. They are being pushed. Says Fleshin. And now it's still there for Cracknell. He's played halfback about 4 times now, just in the last few phases. Now Josh Adams has a pick and go around the side of the breakdown, putting his teammates under pressure. Gilliard wins the penalty. The problem you've got is if one of your main forwards who have been getting involved in rucks just goes for a pick and go, and then you pick and go straight after him, there's a chance that there's not going to be another forward there. And I feel like that is probably the next biggest mistake they have made throughout this game, Wales. Other than the defence at times, throughout the early stages. Right, France kick their ball into touch, and that is going to be halftime in this fixture. 40 minutes of fast-paced, entertaining rugby between these sides, but 26 points to 7 is the reality of the scoreboard here in favour of the French. Jalabert says Roof there too. He did manage to score that last try of the first half. He is so brilliant when it comes to finding gaps. I mean, that one was gifted to him, of course, but he will be more than happy still to take it. And the score now at halftime, 26 points to 7. We will get a few stats, though, to do with this game, ladies and gentlemen. Wales shot themselves in the foot with the kick. Yeah, or the lack thereof of the kick of Adam Baird. Ended up missing it with a fly boot. 19 clean breaks, says Sebastian there. And Baird literally killed us there. Yeah, for a guy who's got a decent amount of experience, it was just a rookie error from Adam Baird. 58% possession throughout the first half for the Welsh. Territory-wise, 47% for Wales. So France winning the territory battle. Possession, though, I think that Wales, once again, it's very hard to judge this half with what happened right at the end. But outside of that one little blunder, they were right in there in a few of these stats. Attacking minutes, they had 11.4 compared to France's 10.2. We saw metres carried 357 for Wales, 639 for France. So almost 1,000 metres carried throughout that 40 minutes. No wonder it went by so quick. And then from there, metres gained 534 for France compared to the 203 from the Welsh. Line breaks, 19-2 in favour of the French. 20-10 in favour of the French for defenders beaten. Offloads 21-2, but the French have dropped the ball 6 times. They've had 6 handling errors compared to Wales, who've only had 1 handling error. So, I mean, if there are positives to be found for Wales, it's the fact that they've had quite a bit of the ball, yet have really actually made mistakes in the handling department. We have got there more than 12 breaks by France of 1 half, says Alistair. Yeah, there's been a lot of great breaks from this French team. I feel like there's probably a few more around the corner as well here. We have got there at this point, I feel like the nickname of Jalabert is Jelly Beer now, says Eager. And then the sun has come out and is shining on me. Even God is taking the piss, says Fleshin. And how does you sound up for it? I thoroughly enjoyed that first half. And the thing is, right from the get-go, I know that people were expecting a one-sided game, which the scoreboard does represent just that. But man, it's been entertaining. Like, this first half, I would say, if you take scoreboard aside, and this is probably controversial, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this has felt like, I would say, for me anyway, from a neutral perspective, the most entertaining half of rugby we've witnessed in the Six Nations so far. It was so fast-paced, free-flowing, brilliant moves from both sides. The tension was there. The crowd were into it. And I don't know. For me, it was just really exciting, enjoyable rugby to watch. And it made me forget that it's currently 5 a.m. here in New Zealand and I have work in the morning. So the Europe are going to number 1, says Martin. Wales are trying, says Samuel. Wales need Costello of the Scarlets at 10. Also, why all the forwards being sucked in blindside wing forward has to stay out of the defend wide. How many tries in the second half for France, says Jerome? I'd say that they'll probably look towards that 3 or 4 more. They'd feel confident. They had some really good attacking moves. And like we mentioned, when you have 20 clean breaks in a half, that kind of gives you a decent chance of scoring a few more. But, I mean, maybe that's also why it felt like such an entertaining half, because we had like 20-something combined line breaks and clean breaks. Well, I thought it'd be worse for Wales at halftime, says Real Deal. And yeah, you take away that last try of Jalabert off a really brutal error from Adam Baird trying to grubber from inside of his own half. You take that one away, this game could have been looking like 19-7 going into the second half, and who knows what would have happened there. But I do think that was the big game-changing moment. Bit messy by France sometimes, but entertaining, says Alistair. Yeah, there were a few errors here and there, but I felt, I don't know. It was just, from a neutral perspective, I don't know. I liked it. I found it very entertaining. I need to get Louis the ball, says Samuel, in 6 tries in the second half. Says Martin. And that French lad talking on the BBC literally lives down the road from me. A big French, I won't read that last bit. 3 more tries for us and 1 more for Wales in the second. And also Reece Zammit, come on. He had some good moments throughout the first half, Lewis Reece Zammit. But it's the French defence that was hurting them, because every time there was almost that line break for the Welsh, it was just that last-ditch tackle. I noticed a lot of Bralbury for his defence. Gailleton making tackles too, and those big loose forwards of the French being able to, those last-ditch tackles. It just shows one of the main differences between these two sides at the moment. Because, any time that France had a chance to break the line, they ended up getting that mistake of a missed tackle from the Welsh. Whereas the other way around, Wales almost get that break, France get them and take them down. And hi, New Zealand from France, says Pascal, welcome in. And did you sleep? Are you working? So I am working in about probably 3 hours time, somewhere around there. But I will be sleeping after work, probably. Nice early night for myself. Louis Bielbiere, our best player, maybe Jalibert or Ramos. Honestly, Jalibert just continues to impress me. And everyone's going to get sick of me praising him, because I have a lot throughout the last couple of weeks, but he's fast becoming one of my favourite 10s to watch in the world. But just from that attacking mindset that he brings to the team. It's the same when he's playing for Bordeaux. What is the time by you? It's currently 5 a.m. here in New Zealand. What is the average age of the Welsh? I'm not sure of the average age, but I know the average caps is very low compared to a lot of other sides in the Six Nations. This is an inexperienced Welsh team. And unfortunately, the only way to gain experience is for them to keep on playing. And it will take time before they reach that same level of experienced heads as other sides. We're talking probably half a decade or maybe even the full 10 years. But there's still hope that they can get there. Are you building a double-story house? I am not. No. Also not. Well, it's kind of renovations inside of a single-story one. I hope you don't drive to work, Hamish, says Joe Man. I did sleep earlier on though. So this is kind of like my lunchtime at the moment with when I'm sitting. Because I did sleep during the day for some of Sunday, if that makes sense. So I'm relatively wide awake at this point. And a 10 better than Sam Prendergast, says South Kid. Yeah, Miles. And go Chickens, says Mitchell. That was actually Martin. I don't know where I got Mitchell from. We have got their jelly beans, it's tasty. And this could end an utter I can't read that word, somehow, for Wales. But the thing is, a big loss was expected. So surely anything better than that is a bonus. And if it is a big loss, it is what it was going to be. So once again, I feel like Wales throughout that first half showed much more fight than a side expected to just lay down and take it. So that's a bonus in some regards, but they have to do it in the second half too. And I think the pace and the tempo of that first half was definitely one that will play into France's hands later on in the contest. Hamish, you look like an owl on caffeine. Well, I haven't had any caffeine, but I'll take the looking like an owl, I guess. Jalibert is so exciting to watch. We fasting fast Thursday, says Mohadeen. And still young and some youth players coming through for them too. And is it Tuesday? No, it's Monday here. The game's not over yet, says Alistair. Yeah, not quite. But that last try, I still can't believe Adam Beard tried to grubber it. They had just almost won a penalty too, so that makes it worse. The fact that rather than getting a penalty, you concede. It's all coming from the Welsh Rugby Union. They are out of touch with reality, trying to protect the amateur game and Wales at the expense of the professional men's game. And that's cool. So they come back sooner rather than later. Says Daryl. Yeah, one more half to go in this contest. Looking through at the benches. Do feel like there's a couple handy enough players off the bench for Wales, although there is someone who at this point is known as a walking, talking card, and that is Tane Plumtree. That man's had more cards than pretty much anyone throughout the last 12 months. He's even given someone like a Kremer or a Lavanini a bit of a run for their money lately. We look through at this French bench as well. They have got some pretty handy players there. Mia Fu, add a bit more size. I mentioned how they've gone with a bit more of a dynamic and speedy kind of setup in terms of their loose forwards today. Feel sorry for Wales. Serge de Gaulle. And then also, I will mention they've still got Baptiste Seron, who is not a bad replacement at all for Antoine Dupont. France also wasted a couple of tries, says Alistair. It is true. They had a couple moments where they should have been able to finish it off and were not able to. That one where he was offside comes to mind straight away of Adesogby. And also, I see Roof is on good form today, says Stephen. And we have got the Hamish, are you working in a few hours? Geez Louise, I am indeed. Yeah, so about 2 hours and 55 minutes. But this game has been very exciting and makes me forget that it is currently 5 a.m. like I said, so it's good news. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing. See what happens from here, whether or not Wales have a bit more in them, because that's the thing, having this rest, it will help them out a little bit. But the question is how much. I'd say about 65 minutes in is when we're going to see France really try and give them a bit of a run around. If Wales lose, then are they the only team to lose 2 games? That is true, yes. And France will also be the only team to win 2 games. So that would then mean, more than likely, big-time favourites for the Six Nations. Even though they already were heading into the competition with the games that they've got at home. And Dennis Wahoo, and hope you're doing well, says Ruth. And also, right, it's the mother city. And Wales fans should be ashamed of not supporting their team. What do you mean, though, that they're not supporting their team? Like, they've got about 60,000 in attendance. And again, there are a lot of smaller stadiums around the world where international teams do not sell out. And the girl singing sounded like a drowning cat, says Philip. Was that for the national anthems? I know that they did an a cappella version pretty much of the Welsh one, or at least from what I could hear, I couldn't actually hear any singing for the Welsh one. They're just showing us a seal at the moment for half time. And can't see England beating France, not a hope, says Dennis. And can't wait for the Springboks, says Mohadeen. It's still a few months away from South Africa being in action. Good attendance for a Sunday, exactly. Like, with the game put into perspective of a side that was supposed to lose by 30 plus points, with the fact that it's happening on a Sunday rather than the opportune time on a Saturday, with everything considered, it's actually a pretty, well, in fact, it's a very decent crowd. It's not the fans' faults. France are very, very strong this year. See the washer dryer. We have got there when within 5 years at most, 1 France, 2 Italy, 3 Scotland, 4 England, 5 Wales, 6 Ireland. Hard times for us Welsh. Hard times for us Irish. Do you sing, Hamish? Not very well. And did New Zealand get a coach? Not yet. I think it's supposed to be announced this week, coming up now. French TV saying Wales are a much improved team, says Devil. I mean, they've been handy enough in this game. It might actually be Dave, actually, rather than Devil. I may have gotten a bit too fancy with that one. We have got the Welsh supporters have turned away from our bad players. Worst Welsh team in Welsh rugby history. And I've said it, though, earlier on, too. No side that has struggled like Wales have. Like, no side that I can think of would have this many people still in attendance. So I feel like some have turned their back on this team, but others know that this is a bit of a rough patch, and they are hoping that somewhere down the line they will reach the form. And, you know, those ones are going to be the supporters who, I guess, get the most pride and the most happiness from the fact that their side are back to doing well because they supported them during the bad times rather than just supporting them when they're doing well. Our Welsh team put up a good fight. They put up an excellent fight in that first half. And yes, people go, look at the scoreboard. But, you know, the Welsh having more possession even than France in that first half is a stat that you would not expect to see for a side that were huge underdogs. Now, clean breaks and line breaks, different story. There were a lot of those and not in favour of the Welsh. We have got their stadium is packed. Doesn't look like the fans have turned their backs, says Sakabula. And yeah, for a Sunday game as well. I couldn't hear the anthem due to my ice cream melting. Yeah, I didn't know that was a very loud activity, unless, of course, did you put it in, like, the microwave or something? Wales can win this if the fans get behind them, says DeGale. French TV saying they expect Wales to come out and play better second half, says Dave. Is it Dave or is it Deville? I feel like I'm combining two, aren't I? And the English football team gets 80,000 every game. They've failed for 50 years, says Stephen. And how many games they lost this year and last year? A lot, unfortunately. They did win their first home game, I believe it was last year, though, up against Japan, I think, was their first home win for quite some time. Not bad so far. Beard should realise he shouldn't be kicking, though. He well and truly will know that. And the thing is, as soon as that try was scored, you could just see his head drop because, you know, you go from doing so well to get a turnover in the breakdown and almost winning that penalty to then just gifting Jalibert the try. And here they come, says Dave. So, yeah, we are very close to the second half getting underway. It will be this time the French will be kicking this one off. A rush of blood to the head. The tempo of this match is intense. And it just shows how quickly, with the tempo of this game, that one little moment can lead to a massive one for the other team, you know. He made that mistake, 10 seconds, if not even quicker than that, France score later. So, you know, it could be the same the second half. You drop a ball, opposition get that counter-attack, and they can score a breakaway try. But that's what makes it just such a edge-of-the-seat kind of situation. We have got there Dave Lavallee. Says power bite there. South African 72 nilled them, so this match is already a step up. Says Zena, yeah, Wales have had their ups and downs throughout the last kind of 24 months. They've had some big losses, they've had some close games, and, you know, it's one of those ones that, like, I feel like we're seeing slight improvements, but unfortunately, people will still go, oh, but look at the scoreboard, they must have played badly, but you know, it was a weird one. It didn't feel like a 26-7 half, but at the same time, it kind of did. Or it felt like it could have been a 40-7 half at the same time with how France were attacking. But Thomas Williams from inside of the 22 kicks downfield. Now Thomas Ramos pops it up to Theo Adesogbi. Oh, that looked a little bit high from Thomas Williams. But on the ball there, Wales looking for the steal. I think the referee was going to penalise them. Jean-Baptiste Grue. Another tackle on him. Dupont. Goes back across to the left. Cruz dragged down. Lewis Rees-Zammit is a superstar. Says Sam, yeah, I can tell you right now, they are more than happy to have him back here, Wales. The knock on from France. Backline movement now. No, instead Thomas Williams will look for a 50-22. Finds a bit of space in behind. And Jalibert, he's going to look to run this one back. Going for a 50-22 of his own, or at least trying to curl it round towards it. Taken by Dan Edwards inside of his 22 and gives it an almighty hoof down into the French half. Fourth drink. CS Flesh in there. Sorry, I missed. I was using my dad's phone. I went on the previous screen. So that on the previous account on the previous system. Says Kyle. And it's a good young team. Wales are steadying the ship, says team. And to show on the French coach, Fabien Galtier. Feel like he would have had mixed emotions about that first half. He'll be more than happy that his side are winning by the 19 points, but he also probably feels like they could have had a bit more for the amount of clean breaks and line breaks or defenders beaten that they did have in half number one. Now, Antoine Dupont goes off to the left-hand side, finds Jelange. Now passed across Jalibert, skip on the outside. This is now a big chance for the French again. Ramos offloads on the inside to Bielbieri. And Galetron. Back across Marchand. Breaks through almost the tackle attempt of his opposite number, Dowie Lake. He just hangs on. Gilliard tries to pump the legs. Oh, he's getting wrestled round on the ground, but Dale Dupont pops it up to Jégu. Dupont actually got stuck under that breakdown, and he looks like he might have an injury here, Antoine Dupont. They are just checking on him now. Is he all right? Or did it? He's still down. Antoine Dupont here. The medic's running over to him. It looked like some sort of ankle injury from the first anticipation of it. Or the first viewing of it, I should say. And go, France need 40 points, says Martin. Now, Jalibert, they are kicking this one into the touch for the French, so going aggressive here once more. Just saying about that handoff from Ellis Mee. And Hamish, would you read War and Peace for us over a series of videos? No. No, I feel like reading out loud, even though I read like the comments, like reading an actual big book with big words would be a hard job to do. Now Charles Olivon. This one's not rolling forward, although Olivon calls in a few more of his French teammates. Now Marchand waiting at the back. That one's going to be dragged down by the Welsh, or at least it looked that way, but Marchand goes over, and it's the next try now for France. And now it ends up that little bit more one-sided. Right, we are just hearing something from James Dolman. What did they work out? Okay, it sounds like they're going to be checking something. What was Dupont's last injury? It was something in the breakdown, wasn't it? And it was an ankle, I thought, or his leg. Up against the Irish last year in the Six Nations. And we have got there out of the 267 in the first of the numbers. How did the 267 in the first of the numbers? I'm not sure what you mean, Kyle, unfortunately there. Floodgates opening, I think so. I think that Adam Beer-Grubber is the turning point of this whole game. And now it could get really ugly. The ACL says, Samuel. And thanks for considering it. I think you do a pretty good job, actually. How long does it take to read a book out loud? How long are audiobooks? I've never listened to an audiobook. That'd be quite long, though, wouldn't they? Like 15, 20 hours? Maybe. But that one has gone over from Thomas Ramos. Now 45 minutes into this game, it is 33 points to 7 in favour of the French. Oh, 26-7 in the first half. I get you now. You just didn't have a gap between it. So how did it happen? We saw the 4 tries from the French, 1 missed conversion from Thomas Ramos, and then the converted try from the Welsh being scored by Rhys Curry. At this stage, it seems like he may be the only Welshman to cross that try line. Now that one's going to be dragged down by France. There's a lot of shouting going on. This might almost become unplayable, but Dolman gives Dupont every opportunity to be able to get that ball out. Now Cruz. Tackled by Duff Jenkins. And you can times 2. Says Samuel. They're told to use it. Dupont rolling this one back once more. That one's going to be kicked high. Bielbire chasing after it. Lewis Rees-Zammit unable to take it cleanly. It looked like a knock-on from Wales, but it seems like once again we're in a play-on situation. Off to the left-hand side. Low tackle on Dowie Lake. Ooh, that looked like an awkward landing for Julien Marchand. Now going high once more. Jalabert tries to pass it back to Arda Sogby. It's put under immense pressure. France have got it again. I just got back from watching Scotland versus England live yesterday. Glad I went. That was quite the game, wasn't it? And I'm sure in front of like the Murrayfield crowd as well. Like, it would have been an insane atmosphere for that contest. Audiobooks usually about 8 or 9 hours. There you go. That's actually quicker than I thought it would be. Maybe if I was to read it out loud, it would take 15 hours instead. Now Arda Sogby unable to take that one cleanly. Knock-on advantage for the Welsh. Here's the stepping from Josh Adams. Gets round 2. Dowie Lake, nice support run. Gets it off to his teammate. It is in this case Thomas Francis. Just a little bit unfortunate there for Wales that every time they wanted that next pass, they found a forward. But here's another one. Aaron Wainwright, 20 metres out from the line now. Thomas Williams to the short side, cutting back in. It's Joe Hawkins. We haven't seen him a huge amount throughout this contest, but now the Welsh with a great chance to get this one going, but France managed to steal it, and they kick it back downfield. Having to retreat now and go and grab that ball. It will be Alice Mee. And he kicks that one downfield. It looks like it's going out on the full. Does it hit the line? Yes, it does. Stays in the field of play. Why are we just kicking the ball back to France? Says Fletcher, now Dupont. He will go with a kick down the middle of the field. Bounce of the ball is favourable for Dan Edwards. Step from Lewis Rees-Zammit. Offload to Thomas Williams running sideways. Offloads like he's playing a game of sevens for the Fijians. Now Williams back across to the left. Oh, big driving tackle from Marchand and Grue, forcing Wales back about 5 after contact. Well, it's still good face play at the moment from the Welsh after kicking that ball away and receiving it back. Around, big fend there from Rhys Curry, who's having quite the game out there on the field for the Welsh. Trying to get the steal and the breakdown for France, losing the footing once more. It was also unbelievable. Atmosphere, says Rugby Itch. Now back into the pocket, Dan Edwards will go for the up and under and across field. This one's going to be tricky for in fact it was Louis Bialbiaré who receives the pass back down the wing. Williams has to try and cover, but the ball on the inside, Adesogbe, he's got a lot of pace and he scores another one. Wales have the ball for 3 minutes. France needed it for 30 seconds and they get themselves another one. Of those Chiefs games, I wasn't the best opener for Super Rugby. Just Miss Blues got over the line, says Rugby Itch. And here we go. We are trying to play fancy and it's going to end badly, says Flesh. And yeah, they are pretty much trying to play the game that France play so well. And they always say you can't beat someone at their own game, and that is where maybe Wales just got a little bit too keen to start throwing it around for fun. The ball on the inside. The pace of Adesogbe, he looked like he was jogging and he was outrunning people. Although, to be fair, he only had a lock chasing him. And France will get to 60 plus. So here's Rugby Itch there, and currently 50 minutes through this contest, but it is another try for the Welsh team. At the moment, the line is expected to be about 42.5 in favour of the French. A Chad forward there, says Fleshin. That one has gone over from Thomas Ramos too. Making the score 47. And I think that Welsh ship just sank. Says Dennis, and I am sure you. And come on, Wales, fire, lads, says Dennis. And it looks like the French bench are about to fire 5 players out onto the field. In fact, it looks like 6. Is it going to be everyone or just 2 for now? It looks like at least 3. It is all new front row for the French, who scored that try, was scored by Theo Adesogbe. Wales need to start from basics, says Degal. And also France should cross 75 points, says Joe Mann. It looks like Wales are also making a few changes for themselves. Thomas Francis makes his way off. Same with Rhys Curry. I'd say he was one of the best players out there on the field for the Welsh. Cracknell comes off too. He had a solid first 50 minutes and really put his heart into the performance. Good attitude from Wales though, says John. I do see that Dowie Lake. They have said that he is off the field. So they had actually more than just a few changes. Plain Plumtree also out there on the park now. This match becoming almost as one-sided as when England try and take on Scotland. And the brave rugby minnows. Says power bite. And now this one's kicked forward. Nicely taken by Louis Bialbiaré. Antoine Dupont goes back across to Lemouth. The game, France are on fire. Says Martin. And it's Carr, not Curry. Is it? See, I got corrected a little while ago because one of the commentators was saying it as Curry. But I used to say it as Rhys Kerr. And they said, no, you've got to say it with the E on the end, like as in like Curry. But, so it's just Carr rather than the added stuff. Which means one of the commentators was butchering it as well for whatever game that was. I think that was in November, actually. But now kicked towards the touchline for France as they have won themselves another penalty. We have got their time, I think, to go back to burn dinner, says Dennis. And France must be the highest players to buy victory this year, says Trev. I guess France make me proud, says Martin. Looks like more changes now for the French. I believe that is the rest of their forward pack. From what I can see anyway. Looks like coming off Gelange as well as Gilliard. I go Wales, fire up. Now the Hamish says they were doing very well. This game has been so hectic. Definitely that first half. I feel like the 12 minutes of the second half. No, sorry, I'm wrong. It's actually... Oh, so is it Kerr or is it Curry? Or not Curry, I just say it slightly wrong, I think, with the accent, but like Curry. It just sounds like I'm saying curry, doesn't it? Oh, that's going to be an offside penalty. Okay, they've just said there that it isn't cynical. There's no sort of penalty try or anything or a yellow card. Streets are empty in Wales. Hiding from embarrassment, says the girl, or watching this game perhaps. Now this one's going to be put into touch. The move too far out from the line. Oh yeah, Darth Jenkins, he never saw the ball. He was just trying to get himself back on side. Thrown into the front. Taken there by Jagu. It's a knock on from France once more. They're number 12. And this one, Brau Bori. Now Josh Adams goes off to tame Plumtree. All still there for Wales. Oh, what's happened? No advantage, lost ball. They're going back. Producer Carr. Yeah, it sounds like you're saying Curry. Yeah, I'm trying not... Even that sounded like I was saying Curry. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's a Kiwi thing. Curry. I have to do it with like an accent or else it just sounds like I'm literally ordering my Indian takeaway. We have got there, Wales need to bring back Alan Wynne-Jones. Still mourning his retirement, says Cobus. They didn't just lose him, though. They lost Dan Bigger, Liam Williams, all those guys around that same time. That just really hurt them all at once. Handling error. 7 from France. Just the one handling error from Wales in this game. Which is quite a surprising statistic. Definitely with the fact that in the first half, they had more of the possession. This could easily be 80 or 70 of France. We have an advantage thanks to our national championship, top 14. Real treasure for a coach, says Chris. Right, the ball's there for Thomas Williams. They were trying to win that penalty advantage. Don't end up receiving it in the end. Now, Lewis Rees-Zammit passes on the outside. That was almost a terrible pass, as it really took all the momentum away from Josh Adams. Ball is still there for Wales. Bit of a counter-ruck from, that's offside from Sogby. Could have been the penalty. Referee does not award it, and there's a knock-on then following up from Wales. Probably should have been penalty to the Welsh. Foxy was a big loss for us in the midfield, says Fleshen. Wales, oh no, now they give the penalty for offside. Number 13, it was off the feet actually that they've decided to go for Emile Galiton. And mates, I hope you make your fortune doing this. Top commentary, listen last week for the first time. Great stuff. Keep going. Says John. And yeah, we got plenty more coming up in the near future. We got the Six Nations next week. Super Rugby's up and running. There's also a game of the URC sneaking in next week as well between the Lions and the Sharks. But yeah, plenty more coming right through. Doing the World Cup as well. Cannot wait to see what happens in that competition. We have there number 5 of Wales as a trader. Poor player. Says Sergio, I assume that's Adam Beard because of going for that drop kick. Or not the drop kick, sorry. Going for that kick, right? Taken by Duff Jenkins. Now Tame Plumtree plays almost at that half-back roll, looping around. This might look all right here for Wales if they can just break through that one extra tackle, but over the ball. And, ooh, ref was just about to give the penalty, but then the French player actually pulled out of the breakdown. Now, Alex Mann goes across there. Big shot coming in on the replacement. Tight head for the Welsh Archie Griffin. Is anyone watching him? Says Green Tea. As in like me? We have got there. Go the France, make us proud. Oh, big driving tackle there. And France with the counter-ruck. All the players leaving their feet. There was nothing up against them, so I think it's allowed. And they have got themselves the offside penalty advantage here for the French too. Now Thomas Ramos going for a cross kick towards Sogby. The ball sits up for him. His foot was in touch though. Okay, now they're all getting excited. He was out though. The touch flag is up. And Wales to keep it under 50. What do you say? Probably not. Sounds harsh, but there's still 24 minutes remaining in France. They will keep on going. Yeah, he was just on the sideline for Sogby as he tried to kick that ball back infield. He's having a dragon drumstick, says Given. Do dragons have drumsticks? Because like chickens have drumsticks. Turkeys have drumsticks. What do dragons have? Just legs, wouldn't it be? Would it be a leg? Or a drumstick? I don't actually know. You've stumped me here. South African supporting chickens. First time I see that, says Chris Ace. It's mainly because he doesn't want England to win the Six Nations, I believe, was the main reason behind it. Tucking into well done pork chops. I might need a new few teeth after these. Nice take from France. Now rolling maul attempt here. Coming up. The last thing that Wales can afford is to end up giving away a penalty try, as they would end up going to the bin. Now Dupont flicks it out the back door. Now Jalabert, cross kick attempted again. Sogby's all by himself and takes the catch. And scores the try out wide. France move to 45 and another assist for Mathieu Jalabert. From a South African point of view, Alan Baird is the weakest player and they continue to let him play after he cost them a try, says Sergio. If it makes them feel slightly better, though, that it's cost them more than just one. Have you ever seen a picture of Chip Alley in Cardiff? I haven't. And it was Fire Bro, Fire the Dragon. And Frogs have frog legs because of France. Says, cool story. It's just a great cross kick. But then at the same time, there's no one out there for Wales. And watching very close, that touchline was Christoph Ridley, making sure that that foot did not brush the outside line. Ramos currently sitting with 5 from 6, 83% kicking off the tee. He's got 5 seconds left, so they are happy enough just wearing down this clock a little bit too. France. Kick goes over from Ramos. And now the score 47 points to 7. This is complete fix, says Trev. As in like the scorers or like the gamers. Google it. What's it called? Chip Alley in Cardiff. Am I going to be grossed out? What are we looking at? Chip Alley Cardiff. Am I looking at the shop itself, or is it just like there's just a lot of different places you can get food, right? They actually have that down in Dunedin. There's a name for it, but I can't think of what the name is. It's not a very flattering name for the street, but yeah, there's just takeaways absolutely everywhere. Now Ramos going off to the right. Now 40 metres out from the line now for the French, and yet again on attack, Baptiste Seron has made his way onto the field. That is to replace Antoine Dupont. Didn't actually score a try in this match, believe it or not. It's a famous chippy, says David. Yeah, no, I take back what I said about Wales winning. Winning says Taiwan. Now nice pass on the outside from Jalabert. Oh, nice spin attempted there as well from Noshi. Now off to the left-hand side, Louis Bielbiere, one-on-one defence from Lewis Rees-Zammit is strong. Mia Fu. 10 metres out. Surely I just misheard the commentator. Did he just call Mia Fu the human water cannon? Surely that's not the name. Because that sounds a little bit strange if it is. Now Jalabert passes on the inside to Seron. They're 5 metres out from the line again here for the French. Now Mia Fu, another carry for him. Now back across to the right. Lamoth, just short. The crowd are singing the French national anthem, or at least the travelling fans are. 2 metres out from the line. Netty goes himself. He reaches, but he's going to be just half an inch short. Thought he had it. Olivon waiting for the pass. He will go over and score the try for the French again. The waste on the ground down the road on a Saturday night, says Fleshin. What's the attendance like? There were reports of low ticket sales. There's probably about 60-ish thousand in attendance for this game. Like, the thing is, they were saying all throughout the week there's low ticket sales, but like it's still many, many more in attendance than most games of international rugby. But it's the narrative that's getting written about Welsh at the moment, or the Wales side, that they can't bring anyone to the grounds, but it's a really good attendance for what this game is. It's on a Sunday. It's the top side versus the bottom ranked team in this competition at the moment in terms of the standings of the comp. Yet they still get over 60,000. Like, you couldn't wish for that in a lot of other places around the world. Now, ready to kick this one here, Ramos. That brought up the half century as well, I should mention, for the French side. So they now sit 54 points to 7 after that kick has gone over. And oh no, Wales, come on, says David. But now 18 minutes now left. They're just showing there a few of the people high up on the Welsh Rugby board. And Jalibert, he's going to get a hat-trick, says ref, although he has just got the one, so he'd need two throughout the last 18 minutes if that was the case. But Olivon, it's taken him a little while to score the try, but at the same time, he has looked dangerous all throughout this match and seemed like he's had a good chance of getting another one. A French steamroller. Okay, so not the... I don't know how I heard water cannon, but it's very different compared to steamroller. Ben Carter, he has made his way on for Adam Beard. What are odds on a Welsh comeback? I know that at halftime they were paying $51 to win this game. A nice run down the wing from Eddie James. Wales tired. I think they're starting to get gas. But then saying that, no side can play the tempo that they did in that first half and not start to slow down. Now passed across. Eddie James tries again to get through Jalibert. And makes yet again another tackle. And moving away to the right. Massive gap opening up for Ben Carter. Dragged down Thomas Williams. Moving away to the right-hand side. Duff Jenkins tackled low. Now Thomas Williams looping around. Was the replacement Ryan Elias. There's a chance here for maybe Wales to sneak a second. Now back off to the left. Thomas Williams in behind. Quick hands. One more pass. Now Eddie James towards the corner. Cuts back over the top of Ramos. 2 meters short. Adams goes himself. It's lost forward. Just short of the try line. Adams, that is now the second time he's gone for a pick and go. And he's got it wrong. The first time he ended up giving the ball away as he had no one supporting him. That time maybe was just worth waiting a bit longer and have someone in support. Just needed that ball to come out and just drops it short of the line. Great defence from the French as well, and they were onside just behind the try line. This is just painful, says Big Rig. And we have got the narrative is being pushed by the English press. Some other countries, we are dire, but we always have hope. Just the way it is, says Fleshin. But yeah, it seems like this year, Wales are the easy team to target in terms of everyone's just ripping into them. But it just, I don't know. Rugby's going in a weird direction at the moment. There's a lot more negatives in rugby in terms of media-wise than there used to be. Or at least maybe that's just because it's grown a little bit more. But yeah, it's very rare you get to hear about the positives rather than people going for the negatives. But sadly, the negative is the thing that sells. You know, if you put as your headline, Welsh Rugby sells 60,000 tickets even though struggling in Six Nations, that doesn't sell as much as Wales can't sell out home games because they're dead last or anything like that. It's just the sad reality of the media now. Ball's going to be fed in by Seron. Comes out the back for Olivon, who is actually playing more so now as a number 8 rather than in that locking duo like he did start the match in. Seron goes across to Gilliard. I thought Gilliard was making his way off the field, but he's still on there. Now kick downfield for Seron again. Does manage to clear the lines. As long England lost, nothing more matters, says Given. And Chip Alley gets more customers than Welsh Rugby Union games, so it must be a very busy place then. 60,000 in a day for that attendance. Ryan Elias, ready to throw it in again. Possession still just in favour of the Welsh with 52%. Thomas Williams goes back across, cutting through the middle. It's Eddie James once more. France Scrum isn't very good, although they did give up a lot of weight to this Welsh team. They went with quite a light pack heading into this contest, France, with about a 70 kg weight disadvantage. Now, I think that when the guys have made their way off the bench, it's changed a little bit. Don't forget there's actually only 3.5 million of us back home. Oh, taken there inside of the 22. Now, Lewis Rees-Zammit, he thought about kicking, but he's going to try and run it out. He's tackled by Adesogby, or at least the tackle attempt was made. And then that's high. Oh no, round the shoulders, says the ref. Now sitting 25 metres out from the try line. More than half the 60,000 are pre-sold corporate. And debenture holders booked years in advance. Says Mark Red. Still a ticket sold, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, the attendance doesn't make it look like 30,000 haven't shown up. In fact, everywhere that they have shown, in terms of anywhere close to the pitch, there are no empty seats. So unless they're in the bleachers that they've decided to leave those ones out, almost interception there. Eddie James is really coming to his own in just the last maybe about 10 or so minutes. Now back across to the left-hand side, Alex Mann moves across to the left. Thought about a pass, doesn't go for it in the end. Now back to Thomas Williams. They've got Kieran Hardy off the bench. They haven't decided to go to him just yet with only the 13 minutes left on the clock. But yeah, Eddie James has been probably the standout for Wales throughout the second half and the breakdown. Penalty won by France. Wales have played well and shown a few weaknesses in France. Says Jeff Hay. Mr. Kiwi Sir, if you have over a New Zealand or an Aussie thing. I believe it's like, that's the thing. Kiwis say New Zealand. Australians say Australian. There's more evidence that it's a New Zealand thing, but Australians have Lamingtons, I believe. And we have there if Wales could leap like the French, I would have been over, says David. Now Jalibert kicking this one towards the sideline. Oh, tries to keep that one in the field of play, can't quite do it. And France are going unbeaten in this competition. And I thought they would get 2, says Jeff. Another 21-year-old for France. Yeah, they've got a lot of young talent coming up through the ranks at the moment for the French. Huge amount of depth coming out of France currently. And it's a youngster, Noah Nini, makes his way off of the bench to replace Gailleton. And Wales can take the positives out of this game, says Stephen. Yeah, like a lot of people won't take positives out of it, but I feel like for this Welsh team, there have been things that they've done very well throughout this match. And yes, they've been outclassed by France throughout a majority of this game, and defensively maybe haven't quite been up to par, but you know, there's still little things that they can look at. I don't think it all has to be negative for this Welsh team. Going off to the right-hand side, Serron moves it on quickly just as they are about to concede again. Bounce of the ball. Oh no, Adesogbe. He thinks he may have scored this one. Oh no, lost forward is the call. As you know, Hamish, Mr. Kiwi Sir. I don't think so. I think that's just what I get called by just the one person. Scotland and Murrayfield for France. It's going to be very hard, says Kahu. Let me see it there. Yeah, just knocks it on there. Adesogbe. Fair play to him. He tried to claim the try, even though it was clearly not. Pains me that your absent wasn't present last night. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love from Scotland. Pains me that your absence wasn't present. As in, so like it pains you that I was there for the game? I guess for Wales, they are at least things can't get any worse stage. Nice run down the wing, knock on from the youngster. Thomas Williams was out of the field of play. It looks like they're actually going to say play on here. So Wales now running this one sideways. Lewis Rees-Zammit has the man on the outside. 2 quick fire passes. Josh Adams cuts back inwards. Gilliard was right there though and manages to steal the ball for France. Then knocked on by his teammate. Again, we're just not calling knock-ons. There's actually been about 5 in this game that I think they've missed. But I think it's just keeping it flowing. Alex Mann is injured on the far side of the field by the looks of it for the Welsh too. Kicked him behind. Louis Bielbiere waiting for it. Flick pass. That was not quite where it needed to go. Tried the no-look. Which did end up backfiring. Eddie James tries to bump off 1-3 Frenchman in there. The ball's still there for Wales. I think Wales will be quietly confident about beating Scotland next week. And the thing with Scotland versus Wales is Sione Tuipulotu, he actually said about it in the post-match interview from their game up against England. He said, like, they can't underestimate the Welsh because when they play at the Principality Stadium, they haven't got the best record. So, yeah, I think that could be a really intriguing match of the next round. Italy versus France, I'm curious to see what type of scoreline happens in that contest. Will Italy be able to push the informed side from the Six Nations, or will it be a bit of a reality where France just really pile it on up against the Italian side? Is Hamish a Māori name? It is not. Not that I know of anyway. I guess we have an NFL ref, says Big Rig, but we have just ticked down to the final 10 minutes of this contest. Score still sitting 54 points to 7. That one's going to be claimed by Charles Olivon, or at least it would have been, but Ryan Elias jumps on it lightning quick at the back of the line out. Back across here, moving away to the left here. Jared here. Oh, no, don't go for any kicks. They should have learnt their lesson from that Adam Beard one. Ow, that's a really hard landing for Tame Plumtree, but he did jump into it. Oh, that's dirty. It's going to be the penalty going against the young number 23. Now step on the outside. Offloader, can't quite find the hands. Plumtree slaps it back onto the side of Wales, though. That looked like a forward pass to Duff Jenkins. Now Kieran Hardy back into the middle of the field here. The carry from Ryan Elias. Now back across to the right. Now left. Moving on, Daff Jenkins. Oh, that's close to the steal for Lamouth, but he's lost his footing, so has to let it go in the breakdown. Thought about going himself there, Jared Evans. Now, knock on from Aaron Wainwright. Knock on them from France. So we'll go back for the French scrum. And thanks for the optometry. Or optometry? Optometry? How do you say that word? I don't even know what that word means. That's one that you've pulled out randomly, Julius. We have got there England versus Ireland will be interesting. Yeah, there's some good games next week. And we are going to be covering all of them on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have seen Wales miss 29 tackles throughout this game. France have missed 18. But yeah, these games, like, I don't think there's a game next week that I'm not excited for. Like, the one that some people would say they don't really care about as much is probably France versus Italy, but that's still got a little bit of intrigue, seeing as Italy were close with Ireland as well as being able to beat Scotland. But that's a French home game too. Could be quite the challenging one. Can we repeat the Twickenham score against England? 53-7, I hope so, says Chris. We are playing to lose, says Fleshin. And chips from Chip Alley is 50 times better than skinny French fries, says David. And skinny French fries. See, I haven't had a shoestring fry, as we call them here, in a good probably 6 months. I have found better chips. Now, Gilliard. Waiting for this one to come out the back here for France to be able to clear their lines. 25 metres out from their own line. And commentary. Oh, commentary. Right. So it was autocorrect. Now, right-hand side, Lewis Rees-Zammit. There hasn't been a lack of trying from him to try and break the line, but every time that he tries to go through, France make the tackle on it. Chips are lovely. Says Big Rig. Ireland are going to beat England, says Jerome. Almost going through was Aaron Wainwright. Low tackle from Seron. Now back across Evans. Oh, knock on from Ryan Elias on the ground. Jalibert, great hands from him. Now attacking chance for France. Numbers left-hand side. Ramos feeds it on the outside. Louis-Pierre Biarray. It was close to a forward pass. He's gone out. Ripped into touch by Mason Grady, but had knocked the ball on beforehand. I'm a quarter Welsh, Hamish. Says, good story. And Wales stick to playing marbles. Is it popular in Wales? Is marbles like a well-known sport for the Welsh D-Gull, or what's the go there? I don't get the insult. France are too good, says Patrick. McKicky fries are top tier, says Johnny Blaze. They certainly are. I'm going to have to look it up. Is the game marbles popular in Wales? What do we got? Marbles have historically been very popular. Traditionally, playground games in Wales and throughout the UK often experience yearly crazes. Okay, so a craze from the 20th century. No, mate, says Mark. We have got there, France has taken no prisoners this season. And also we have got there the previous record. Wales' loss to France was 51-0. So theoretically, this isn't quite as bad yet, is it? Unless France score again. This wouldn't be the highest points that France have scored up against the Welsh, though, would it? You're a machine. How many games have you done this weekend, including sevens? It's been quite a few. That's a penalty at scrum time for the Welsh. We've done, I think it's like 3 or 4 games of Super Rugby. I can't remember. I think it's 4 games of Super Rugby, probably about 10 games of sevens and 3 games of the Six Nations, somewhere around there. We have got there people hyping up this as Scotland's year. Says South Kid. Penalties conceded 9 from Wales compared to the 5 of the French. France do not have a good record against France in Murrayfield. I assume that's up against Scotland, right? Rather than France against France. Now ready to throw this one in. Nicely taken by Tame Plumtree. Ryan Elias. Now breaking forward nicely. Mason Grady. In fact, no, sorry, it was Hardy that time. Goes to Aaron Wainwright. 4 minutes remaining on the clock now. Now going off to the right. Just goes into touch, though. We have got there. It's very popular in South Africa. Jewellery popular in South Africa. And fidget spinners. I remember when fidget spinners went wild, didn't they? There was everyone with a fidget spinner. And then they got banned because people got annoyed with them. And more rugby balls in Wales than marbles, says David. And also people on RTE hyping this up. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And also since the Springboks game, Welsh scored 14 points. Now last 3 games, 175 to 14. Says Cobus. And marbles was so addictive, I class 2. Just showing Jalabert once again. He has been exceptional throughout this match for the French. Skinny fries are similar to French fries. Says Ruth. Are they like a brand or are they because we call them shoestring fries here. Is that the same thing as a skinny fry? My little sister has loom bands. Are they the ones that they could make necklaces and stuff? We'll come back to that because Wales are 5 metres out from the line with a really good attacking chance to be able to score themselves a try, which I'm sure people would rather than loom bands. Depending, no, to be fair, loom bands, I think they were popular too. Now Kieran Hardy goes short side. Oh, he's been absolutely smashed next to the breakdown. He thought he'd go for a pick and go and it's run into about 250 kgs of men. Now around the side, there's an advantage here for the Welsh. Who's it going to be that steps up and scores the try? Tame Plumtree going to go himself. He's held up. He's not going to get that one down. That is now the second time that Wales have been held up over the French goal line. They'll go back now for the penalty. France have a dismal record against France, according to Wikipedia. As that we got injured, the New Zealander fullback for Wales. He is class. I don't understand why they didn't pick him. I assume you're talking Blair Murray. I think that would be... Oh, you mean? I'm not actually sure, but I think it's because of Lewis Rees-Zammit being back that he loses his spot. Now, quick tap taken by Ryan Elias. France jumping all over him. 3 metres out from the line, off to Aaron Wainwright. If anyone deserved a try, it would be him, but once again dragged down short. Advantage in favour of the Welsh. Quick hands, middle of the field. Lewis Rees-Zammit, one more pass on the outside, and Mason Grady scores for Wales as they get their second try. Now, I need to give a lot of credit there to Lewis Rees-Zammit. And I know some people don't like that man very much, but he was very smart in that scenario because he could have tried to go himself, and that was probably only about a 50-50 chance of scoring. Passes it out wide, and it goes straight into the hands of his winger to score it. So unselfish from Lewis Rees-Zammit there. Well done, says Daryl. And not as bad as I thought, to be honest, says Kahu. And WS is wrong with Wales, says Peter Lowe. And get in, says Fleshin. How many minutes we at? We at 78 minutes. So only 2 more minutes remaining in this contest. Misses away to the right-hand side, so the score will remain 54-12. Now, the question mark that I have, they're losing this game by 42 points, right? Last year, when these two sides met, Wales lost 43-0. So I have a question. Is this a big improvement? Because yes, they're losing by 42, but they have scored 2 tries themselves rather than having 0 on the board. I'd say that this is actually a pretty, it's a much better result for Wales than that 43-0, even though they conceded more points. And by the World Cup, they will be better, says Samuel there. Now, ball's going to be available again now. Of course, the bonus point is still on the cards for, it is on for the French. They have already got it. And 100% says Ilaria. And also, come on, Wales, just 6 quick tries, says Ty. Now, box kick attempted by Hardy. Coming down just outside of the Welsh 22, slapped back by Sogby. Just as I've said that, are they going to concede so that then it's a bigger margin than that 43-0? Ball is there, though, for the French. I've got it 40 metres out. It's better to be fair, says Sebastian. Now off to the right-hand side into the hands of Netty. Got 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Have a great week, Kiwi lads. Same to you, and we will be back next week with more Six Nations Super Rugby. We may even have a couple midweek streams depending on what matches are taking place for the Cricket World Cup, as well as there are some under-20s games apparently that are going on. Now, Baptiste Serin goes across. Ramos almost a drop ball. Oh, that's a beautiful pass from the youngster. He's showing no fear out there at the moment on debut, but he was in touch for Louis Bielbiaré, and that is the end of the game. 54 points to 12. The victory for the French at the Principality Stadium. I remember the 70s when the Welsh Rugby players were legends. I think it's happened over the years. So here's Mandy's. Oh, I guess the only thing we can say for that is really that those guys, it is a very different era. The experience isn't there at the moment for Wales, but they've got a little bit of heart, this young side. And I know that 54 points to 12, once again on the scoreboard, you could argue that it doesn't look like it, but that first half was very entertaining, and you could see how much the Welsh players wanted it, and then it was just that kick from Adam Baird. And you heard that correctly, from the lock, who tried to kick the ball. He missed it, and then France scored, and that sucked the wind right out of the Welsh sail heading into the second half. You're doing a brilliant job, Hamish. Well done, bro. Says David, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Cheers for the commentary, Hamish. Says Sebastian. And there too. Wales scored twice. I'm happy, says Yanev. Yeah, it is a big improvement compared to what we saw last year when France and Wales went head-to-head, when it was 43-0 for this French side. Wales didn't give up, even though it looked hopeless. Says the Blue Nomad. And also Wales scored twice. And also get some food and sleep, Hamish, says Big Rig. But yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. Like I mentioned, next week we've still got plenty more that is going to be taking place. We'll go like that. There we go. This is the schedule of the Six Nations for the games that are taking place next week. While we're at it, I may be able to get a little bit sneaky and show you some of the other things that are coming up over the next weekend as well. But there is a URC game between the Sharks and the Lions, the South African Derby. We will be covering that one on the channel too. And then in terms of Super Rugby, if I go, I think it's this one. 1 second. If it loads, there we go. These are the Super Rugby games that are taking place next week, and I believe we are covering all 5 of them as well. They are on New Zealand time. I think I'm leaning the wrong way. I always get confused about which way to go, but those are the 5 matches. So we've got at least 9 games of rugby taking place next week that we are going to be covering on the channel. A nice full about probably 20 hours of listening to me talk. So if you're not sick of me, I guess we'll see some of you guys for next weekend. And Welshman is 70s with coal miners. And thank you for the amazing commentary as well. Mr. Kiwi Sir, says Ty. And Sweet Dreams, says Martin. And also all of these 4. Could have won man of the match. Jalibert got it. Yeah, thoroughly deserved for Jalibert, the way that he's been able to play throughout the match and throughout this whole Six Nations. And GG's all great coverage as ever, Kiwi lads. Says Mark, thank you very much. And yeah, we will possibly see some of you guys for next weekend. But thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you all for the next one.